I'm the BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether the price is going up or down. Over on Dixie for the daily, we are seeing a slight pullback, and the crypto market is pushing up. Remember, usually they are inverts. Momentum does want to push down. We have a double red dot as that VWAP breaks bearish. Money flow is starting to lose steam, so we could see a reversal here. Again, that would be more positive for crypto. And our MPP does say we could see a very massive drop. I wouldn't go based off that drop because I think that takes us to like zero. Yeah, I don't think the dollar index is going to drop to that low. But over on the 1 hour, we do have lower highs and lower lows, so we do have a bearish continuation as these highs and lows do not connect. I would watch the MPP does say we could push to the 108. We did make the first move down. It's not really showing that too well. Not sure what they changed on this MPP. It seems to only be showing two lines in some cases now. Our stochastic is starting to push down. RSI is losing strength. At VWAP does want to break that neutral. Momentum is pushing forward, and money flow is trying to push into the green. So we do look like we do want to gain some strength, providing that VWAP can break bullish and hold. But remember, we don't want to see that if crypto is usually going to push up. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we are seeing a retest here of a trend line. Let's see, zoom out. That is our point of control on our fixed range volume profile. So that is a kind of strong support resistance. We have our value area high right around 60, and then about 56 we have our value area low. If we continue getting red candles here, we would see a break at that point of control and then make a move towards that bottom area. It's not going to happen right away. It does usually take quite a while. Like back here, this is January, end of January. Here we're actually this is on the 1 hour, so not a very good example, but you look over at the daily, moves do take a while. This is December, and then this is like end of December. So I can't read today. So the 12th of December, 5th of December, beginning, end of December. So it took about a month to push up. That's why when we talk about these moves, they're not quick moves that are going to happen all the time, unless we're talking more on like the 1 hour or lower time frame. Those play out a little quicker. So when we covered the Bitcoin last night, we did say we had a buy offer in. We put that buy offer like 2 months in advance. We had that buy offer since like November. So those are the kind of foresight you want to use if you're going to DCA in those kind of opportune spots. VWAP is favoring bearish, momentum is dropping, money flow is weakening, so I would watch that VWAP. If that VWAP continues to favor bearish here, money flow could break into the red and we would continue lower. Again, further red candles and a break of that point control with red candles could end up dropping us lower here. We do want to see this dominance end up breaking if we're going to get an altcoin season, because if Bitcoin's dominant, then total is not going to run up against Bitcoin, and we're not really going to get massive pumps off our altcoins. So over on the 1 day here on total, yeah, I don't know why the MPP is only showing two lines. Not a big fan of that because usually that second line isn't very reliable. Our VWAP does want to push up. Momentum does want to gain strength. Money flow is pretty flat. That stochastic does want to round away, so keep an eye on that stochastic. If it makes a break, RSI could start to curl away. That would be just below that 30. I would confirm bearish momentum, and that could give us further red candles to break that support, but we are trying to make a push off that bottom. That could be positive. This could be a little mini double bottom as we have a drop, a little bit of a rise, a drop, and now we're trying to push up. So we need to continue to push to about that 104 trillion if we're going to make a break forward and then fill that 124 trillion. So, but we need those lower time frames to break and hold bullish. Over on the 1 hour, our MPP isn't really projecting anything useful right now. So yeah, again, I think the MPP is kind of broke, so we might end up deleting it since it's not very helpful. Stochastic does want to push up. RSI is trying to gain strength. At VWAP is pushing forward. Yeah, we don't have it hidden. At VWAP is trying to push forward, but it's kind of zigzagging around, so it's not very decisive. Watch that VWAP very close. We need it to hold in a strong bullish trend if this pump forward is going to be sustainable. Remember, we can push up while that VWAP kind of figures out where it wants to be, but if we see that VWAP break down and hold, then that push up would not be very sustainable. And that's how we kind of mapped out this Bitcoin futures when we were talking about this gap, when this gap was created. And we said you would want to watch for that gap to fill. Again, that was not something that would happen in the next day or two guaranteed. It does take some time. You can see we are starting to kind of inch our way back down. So there could be a chance of filling that. Not saying we have to, but there could still be a chance of filling that. That's how I was able to get that buy order right around that 90K wick. RSI is starting to weaken, stochastic is pushing up. VWAP does want to gain strength. Momentum is trying to push forward with a green dot, so that is positive, providing VWAP can stay bullish. If that VWAP stays bullish, then futures could continue further. Over on the 1 hour, we do have a slightly higher high with a higher low, so we could be making a slight bullish trend here that could try to push us forward. If we continue forward, now we have 3 lines, so yeah, the MPP is kind of goofy right now. So if we continue to make that move forward, the MPP does project. There's a chance of hitting that 100K. We need to break and hold that 100K though. If we can't break and hold that 100K, we probably wouldn't see the last leg up push us up for a very strong rally and then possibly start to sell off for the bear market. Momentum does want to round away. We have a red dot. Stochastic does want to start to curl. VWAP is starting to push down and money flow is in the bearish territory. So despite this bullish trend, we do have some weakness on the 1 hour. Keep a very close eye on this VWAP. If it continues lower with this lower high, money flow will stay in the red, and we will see some selling pressure continuing down and breaking away. Right now, the only thing I say that VWAP has going for it is we are consolidating after a slight push up, but it wouldn't be a very strong bull flag. It could create a bull flag to push us up, but that would be providing we can get bullish momentum. I would say we're probably on about our if we drew a flag here and mix these wicks, you'd already have like 3 touches to the top. So that flag may be shot. Again, exercise caution, watch that VWAP, but it does look positive for a bullish continuation despite the kind of bearish indicators. And if we can overcome 100K without breaking through 93K, then we could continue forward. If we end up breaking that 93K here on Bitcoin again, then that's where we're going to see that gap fill, and we could start to see a little bit more bloody price action. But again, I don't think that's too likely. We do have a lot of countries announcing they're starting to buy Bitcoin right now, and they're not really going to sell off right now at a loss because they're going to hold long term. That's going to help give us more of a support area. So we do have some other factors going in that we didn't have in previous bull markets. Now, VWAP does want to push up. Momentum is gaining strength with the green dot. Stochastic is pushing up and RSI is gaining strength. So over on the daily for Bitcoin, we do look positive and we are making a breakaway from that support. Again, we need to break and hold that 100K though if we're going to see some substantial price action. Over on the 1 hour, we do have a bullish continuation trying to form. Again, we could have that bear flag here. That may be our third touch to the top. So if we push down to around this 96.6 and then we can't hold, I would watch for a push down toward that 93K, at which point if we break that, watch for our gap to fill. Momentum does have bearish divergence. Remember, bearish divergence can spill you over and spit you down. VWAP is favoring bearish, but it's a very short wave. So that does look positive for us as we have bullish money flow. Momentum is bullish, and that VWAP is trying to make a higher low. If that VWAP can make a higher high, then stay above that neutral, momentum could overcome that divergence, and we could continue forward. Just like anything else, just because we have a divergence doesn't mean it has to play out. We had one back here, and it did play out pretty brutally, though, so just keep that in mind, because history does tend to repeat, and that's why I'm saying watch for a break of our 93K. So over on graph for the daily, we did break away from this bear flag. We got, I want to say, about half our move down, and then we are pushing forward. So hopefully you're able to capitalize on that. That value area high would have been a pretty good spot to buy, about that 18,413. We did stop right around that 18,022. So that was a pretty decent move. We did not get down to the 16,316. So this could be positive, providing we stay above our 20 cents. If we can stay above 20 cents, that's where we're going to continue to those higher targets you guys have been asking for. Our stochastic does want to push up. RSI is trying to gain strength. Excuse me, throat's still stretched. I need to take a drink of water. So that VWAP does want to push up. Momentum is trying to gain strength, and money flow is in the green very barely. So watch lower time frames. We need to see them break bullish and hold if we're going to continue to push up. Over on the 1 hour, we do have higher highs and higher lows, but this is a pretty straight channel. Again, watch out for them straight channels because they do create those rising channels that can break you down. We do have 3 touches to the top, 2 to the bottom. So if we see a rejection here and retest that bottom, our MPP is projecting we could push down toward the 19117. And if we can't hold there, there's a 60% chance we break past that 15, hitting that 16,316. So you may still have a buying opportunity, but that ship may have sailed at that value area high if the rest of the market is going to push forward and if this VWAP can bounce off this neutral. Right now, that VWAP is trying to make a bounce, so if it gets another higher high, momentum will remain bullish, money flow will attempt to break that neutral, and then we could start to strengthen higher time frames and continue to push forward. So that does look positive for us despite that bearish pattern. Remember, just because you have a pattern doesn't mean it's 100%. There is no guarantee in trading. There's no crystal ball. Otherwise, we'd all be rich. Over on Anchor for the daily, Stochastic does want to push down. VWAP is favoring bearish. We do have a lower high with consistent lows, so we do have slight bearish favor here. Keep that in mind. Momentum does want to push down. We have a red dot due to that VWAP breaking down. And VWAP did kind of stagnate, so if it can manage to push up and make a shorter wave in comparison to this wave, then we may see that momentum rebound and money flow could stay in the green. However, if lower time frames break and hold bearish, we are going to continue this reversal here. I would watch for a hold around this 34-cent zone though, or 3-4 cent zone. That could be positive. But again, if we do end up breaking away, I would watch our like 3065. So our MPP is projecting quite a rally up, about that 6 cent area. I believe it said that last time, so don't get too excited there either. Remember, just because it's showing a projection doesn't mean it's guaranteed, and you do need to watch other things. Over on the 1 hour, we could have a straight channel forming here as well, so I would exercise caution. A straight channel is a rising channel that could try to break us down, and we may have a rejection from the top and an attempt to push down. We have a slight gap to the downside that may end up filling, and then if we break this channel, I would watch for that bounce at that 3499, which we have a higher chance of seeing. If we can make that higher low there, then continue forward, we could push up and see bullish momentum. However, if we feel the lower probability, then it's likely we are going to break down. VWAP does have a longer wave here in the bearish territory. Momentum is bullish, but if that VWAP rejects this neutral, we will see momentum start to push down. Money flow will remain red, and we would see higher time frames start to weaken. So watch that VWAP very close. It needs to break into a bullish trend and hold if we're going to push up. That seems to be kind of the name of everything today. So over on XRP, we did manage to break away from our triangle over the last few days, so I apologize for not covering it. I was sick if you missed that, and last night's audio for some reason wasn't working, but we are trying to push forward. We do have a kind of rising channel here as well, so I would exercise caution on these rising channels because they are usually a bearish pattern, and it does say we could break down toward about that 150 range. Stochastic does want to round away. RSI is trying to push up. Remember, don't go for the max pain or gain. VWAP does want to remain bullish. Money flow is starting to weaken though. So if that VWAP does end up getting a lower high and then breaks that neutral, and money flow could continue to taper off. Watch those lower time frames because if money flow does break into the red, we will see those stronger red candles. So over on the 1 hour, we do look pretty decent here. Again, this rising channel does look a little better on the 1 hour. So I would exercise caution. It being on the 1 hour does mean it could play out a little quicker. Our momentum does want to push away. We have a double red dot suggesting momentum wants to continue lower as that VWAP makes a lower low. If that VWAP continues to push down here, money flow will go from green into the red and we would see a sell-off. But our MPP is projecting a high chance of getting a higher low, right about that 250, and then hopefully we can continue forward from there and see that push to around that $293 range that the MPP was projecting like a week or so ago. So last but not least, unless you have any special requests, we have Algo for the day. We are trying to break that resistance area. Watch for a strong green candle to continue this as it could create a rounded bottom. This could also be a double bottom just like Total, which could be positive, more positive than the other coins look. Stochastic is starting to push down. VWAP does have a higher low, but struggling to overcome that neutral. We need a higher high above that neutral if that VWAP is going to push momentum higher and push price higher as a consequence. That money flow is green, but just barely. Over on the 1 hour, we do have higher highs and higher lows, but this could be that rising channel just like we're seeing everywhere else. So again, I would watch these close, but just because they're forming doesn't mean we have to see this. If we're going to see some momentum like previous bull markets, then that flash crash down to about 90K for Bitcoin may be the last crash. Then we may get that strong leg up, maybe the last leg up for the bull run. So keep that in mind too. Make sure you're taking your profits. But if we do see this break of the channel, we could see a push down to about that 30.52 at worst case. The NPP does say we could touch the bottom and then hopefully continue forward from there. Momentum is starting to round away, stochastic is weakening, RSI wants to push away, and that VWAP is starting to favor bearish, so if it rejects that neutral, we will see momentum continue lower, money flow will stay in the red, and higher time frames will start to weaken, and we could retrace our gains. So again, we may see a continued push forward, and these indicators may be less reliable right now based on previous bull markets, but we do have things going on in this current bull market that we didn't have in those bull markets as well. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a great night. Hit the like and subscribe and join us in that Discord.